Good morning, students of class 9. Today we will discuss about the fourth part of our chapter Cell, the fundamental unit of life. Today our learning objectives are the function of the plasma membrane, that is transport across the membrane, idea about isotonic, hypertonic and hypotonic solution. In our last video, we already have discussed about the function of the plasma membrane. What are the different functions of the plasma membrane? First of all, it protects all the cellular organelles and the inner part of the cell like cytoplasm, nucleus, etc. Second thing, it gives shape of the cell, and the most important function of the plasma membrane is that it helps in the transport of the materials. But we have to keep in our mind that some of the materials can pass through the plasma membrane and some materials cannot pass through it. The plasma membrane, being a living membrane, let the materials which can pass through it and which cannot pass through it. So today we will discuss first of all about the transport across the membrane, and later on we will discuss about the isotonic, hypertonic and hypotonic solution. So what are the different types of transport across the membrane? Mainly it is of two types. One is active transport and another one is passive transport. But do you have any idea about active transport and passive transport? What are those? Studying. Active transport is the movement of molecules across a cell membrane against its concentration gradient. So it is very much important. As the molecules move against the concentration gradient across a cell membrane, so the energy is used in this process. So the cellular energy is used in this process. What is the example of the active transport? The example of the active transport is the sodium-potassium pump, which moves sodium ions to the outside of the cell and potassium ions to the inside of the cell. Here, both the ions move against their concentration gradient, and energy, the cellular energy that is produced by the expenditure of the ATP, that energy is used in this process. What is passive transport process? It is the movement of ions and other atomic or molecular substances across a cell membrane without the need of energy input or without expenditure any energy. So in this process, the ions, the atoms or the molecules of different substances move across the cell membrane without any energy. It is of two types. What are those? Diffusion and osmosis. These are the two important types of passive transport. In both the process, the cellular energy is not used. Now we will see what is diffusion and what is osmosis. What is diffusion? The movement of substances from a region of its higher concentration to a region of its lower concentration is called diffusion. Again I am telling, the spontaneous movement of a substance from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration is called diffusion. So here we do not talk about the membrane. Biomembrane or any kind of membrane is absent here. You can see the diffusion process in your surrounding every time, each and every time. For example, when we put a drop of any colorful substance in a bucket of water, suddenly it spread throughout the water. The color of the water change into that color of the substance. Another example of diffusion is when we put a or lit an incense stick in a corner of the room, the smoke or the fragments we will get from each and every corner of the house. That is also the example of the diffusion. In the corner of the room, the concentration of the smoke is more, so it diffuses or it moves from its higher concentration region to its lower concentration region. So here I am also giving another example, that is the exchange of gases like CO2 and oxygen in the cell that occurs due to the diffusion. So this type of during respiration or through the blood, to the blood vessels, the exchange of the CO2 and oxygen that occurs due to the process of the diffusion. Now we are going to discuss about what is osmosis. Listen carefully. The passage of water or liquid from a region of higher water concentration to a region of lower water concentration or lower liquid concentration through a semi-permeable membrane is called osmosis. So keep it in your mind, the water or the liquid molecules move from its higher concentration region to its lower concentration region. So here we are considering the liquid substances or the water. And also we have to consider a membrane. Along the membrane or the molecules have to cross a membrane. The membrane is very, very important here. So here, what is the example of the osmosis process? Osmosis also occurs in our surrounding. In case of plant body, the absorption of water by plant roots occurs due to osmosis. You also have seen the process of osmosis in your daily life. Have you seen that when we soak resin in water, what happens to it? Yes, after some time it will swell up. Another incident happens sometimes in our daily life when we wash the utensils or when we wash the clothes in soap water for longer period of time, our fingers shrink. Why this thing happen? All this answer we will get after discussion of the different type of solution. At that time also we will get the idea of the exoosmosis and endoosmosis. Now get an idea about isotonic, hypotonic and hypertonic solution. Now get an idea about isotonic, hypotonic and hypertonic solution. First of all, let us discuss about isotonic solution. A solution in which the solute concentration is equal to the concentration of the solute concentration of the cell sap, that solution is called as the isotonic solution. What is the idea of hypotonic solution? The solution in which the solute concentration is lesser than the solute concentration of the cell sap, that is called as the hypotonic solution. And the solution in which the solute concentration is more than the solute concentration inside the cell sap, that is called as the hypertonic solution. Now let us discuss or describe the three types of solution. Suppose we keep a cell in a solution, and what happens to the cell? In such a solution that in which the solution or the solute concentration of the solution is equal to the concentration of the solute concentration of the cell sap, then there is no such movement of the water molecules, and this type of cell solution is called as the isotonic solution. This type of solution is called as the isotonic solution. Again I am repeating it. If we keep a normal cell in such a solution where the solute concentration is equal, solute concentration of the solution is equal to the solute concentration of the cell sap, then there is no such movement of the water molecules inside and outside the cell. No net movement of the water molecules inside and outside of the cell. This type of solution then called as the isotonic solution. Now what happens if we keep a cell in a solution where the solute concentration is lesser than the solute concentration of the cell sap? Then as the water molecules are more in the solution, so the water molecules enter from the solution to the cell and the cell swollen up, and this phenomena is called as the endo-osmosis. This type of solution is called as the hypotonic solution. Again I am explaining. Hypo means less, where in which solution the concentration of the solute is lesser than the concentration of the cell sap, and the concentration of the water or the liquid is more than the concentration of the cell sap. Now we will discuss about the hypertonic solution. Hyper means more. So the solution in which the solute concentration is more than the solute concentration in the cell sap, that type of solution is said to be hypertonic solution. And what happens if we keep a cell in hypertonic solution? As the solute is more in the solution, solute concentration is more in the solution than the cell sap, so the water molecules move from the cell to the outer solution or to the outer medium, and as a result the cell shrink up. Solution is said to be hypertonic solution, and this phenomenon is called as exoosmosis. So again, in case of hypertonic solution, the concentration of solution is solute is more and the concentration of water is less in compared to the concentration of solute and water in the cell sap. Now we will see that if we keep RBCs in these three type of solution, that is hypertonic solution, isotonic solution and hypotonic solution, what happens to the cell? If we keep the RBCs in isotonic solution, there is no net movement of the water molecules. That means what? The movement of water molecules inside and outside of the cell to the solution is almost same. So there is no such change in the shape of the cell. But what happens if we keep the cell in hypotonic solution? In hypotonic solution, when the cells are kept as amount of water or amount of liquid is less inside the cell and concentration of the solute is lesser outside the cell, that is in the surrounding solution. So what happens? Water get inside the cell. As a result, what happens? The cell swell up inside. And what happens in case of hypertonic solution? When the RBCs are kept in hypertonic solution, hypertonic solution means the solution in the solution solute concentration is more than the cell sap. So water is less. So what happens? The water molecules comes out from the cell. As the water molecules or water concentration is lesser in case of the solution than the cell sap, so water comes out from the RBC cell, and as a result the plasmolysis occurs. The shape of the cell changed and it is called as the plasmolysis. So we are getting an idea about hypotonic, isotonic and hypertonic solution. Now here I want to discuss one incident, that when we wash clothes for longer period of time in soap water, our finger shrink. What happens? We can explain this phenomena by getting the idea of these three types of solution, and the same thing, the exoosmosis and endoosmosis, that occurs in this case also. What happens? The concentration of the soap water. In the soap water, solute concentration is more in compared to the cell sap of our body cell. That's why the water comes out from the cell of our finger, and as a result our cells of the fingers shrink, and that's why we have shrinkage in our finger. So I hope from this practical example you are getting a clear idea about isotonic, hypertonic and hypotonic solution. Now we will discuss about today's assignment. I am giving you some questions to you. See the questions, write down the answer. Thank you. Have a good day.